somewhere here. And also, like to become a software tester, right? You should have hands-on Excel sheet, okay?
Yeah.
Because you will come up with lot of times writing the test cases,
Mm.
a defect, right? So there are many things are there. I'll show you. Okay, so I'm just giving the high level here. So we have already discussed software. What is software? It is a program, setup program. It will tell us what to do, and what is testing, verifying something, right? So whether
Yeah,
it is
very
working.
fine.
Uh, so what is software testing? It is a process to validate functionality of the software application with the
Mm.
respect of the requirements. Type of testing we have already discussed: functional testing, non-functional testing.
Yes.
Okay, so levels of testing we have already discussed. Unit, integration, system, right?
Mm.
Unit testing means you will single component you will test it. So
Yeah.
integration means two or more than component are tested together just to show whether how they are connected each other, right? So like they will ask you give me example of integration testing, okay?
Mm.
So that time you can give any example. Let's say you are logging to Gmail. If you
Mm.
delete the email from, let's say there is a I'll go to Gmail inbox is there. In that inbox, delete folder will be there. Then trash will be there, and bin will be there, and sent item will be there, right? So these folders will be there in your Gmail. Right? Let's say if you delete the message from inbox, where it will go,
Delete. Delete.
right?
Yeah.
So it will go to delete folder.
Yeah.
Right? So this message will delete folder. How it is communicated, right? So it is interlinked, right? So whatever you delete from inbox, it always goes to delete folder. So that is what integration,
Yeah.
right? So it is a connectivity. So that is how you can give an example.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you delete the message from delete folder, it will go to trash or bin, right? So or if you create a message, another, let's say you are creating a email. So if you click on send, it will go to sent item, right?
Mm.
So if it is going to inbox, it is a defect or it is not working. Functionality is supposed to go to sent item, right? That is how integration testing will work. So in
Yeah.
system testing, it is end to end, right? So from login to logout, it is a
Mm.
end to end. For acceptance testing, you will do same thing again, all combining all integration unit system testing, just to make sure all the critical flows are working as expected.
Yeah.
Okay, so these all things we have discussed yesterday, and we were discussing about validation and verification, right? So I'll start from here. Validation is what is validation? Anyone remember? And what is verification? Sounds like same, but it is a huge difference, is there, right?
Verification is a checking
Document
the
verification.
Yeah,
infrastructure.
you are not doing any testing. You are just verifying
Yes.
it. It is
Yeah.
static.
Yeah.
So validation nothing but it is a dynamic. You are
Dynamic.
validating functionality of the software.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's understand how what exactly we model our verification and validation, and also we have already discussed. So software development cycle is a set of activities carried out by developer to design the software application. Software testing is it is a tester responsibility. He will
Yes.
also
Yeah.
carry out some types of like activities to test the software product, right? So all these we have discussed. So let's understand more on this. Okay, what exactly we model our validation and verification. Okay, so here, so if you see this, always as I told yesterday, so let's say you are starting any business, right? So they will come up with requirement, right? So without requirement, you cannot develop any software or you cannot test any software application,
Mm.
right? These three activities are these three phases are totally depend on the client and requirement. So person A is a client, right? So
Yeah.
let's say Padma wants to do business, right? Delivery. So she's having more money and she's going for business, right? So let's say we have Uber Eats, Zomato. I don't think Zomato is there in. Australia or Sydney.
No.
Uber
Uber,
Eats is, I
Uber
guess.
Eats, yeah.
Yeah. So let's say she is a client and she will gather the requirement. So she has some budget. Okay, she has around 5 crore or something. Okay,
Mm,
so
mm,
then so she will say all I need all these software to be functionalities to be added my software application, right? Everything she will give. So
mm,
then developer will analyze her requirement. Then he will start writing the code, developing the software one by one, right? So they will do unit testing, everything. So once it is done, then tester will test the software application, right? So whether it is correctly taking the order or not, right? So what type of delivery it is showing or not. Every functionality, the tester will test it. So
mm.
that is how here also the first step in validation and verification model, you have to gather the requirement,
Requirements.
right? So then you will go for designing. Designing means you will start writing the code, right? So then you will go for internal design. That is a functional design. How exactly it has to work? They will take a meeting, right, with all the managers, development manager, senior developer, right, everyone. Okay. So then they will go for internal design. How exactly the code has to be written, right? So then, like, what does it mean? Design nothing but how it should look like, right? So it, color what should be there, logo what should be there, right? Everything they will decide,
Mm,
right? So once is finalized, they will start writing the code. That is what it comes under validation verification. Once coding is done, first testing is always done by unit testing, right? Then once unit testing is completed, then it will go for integration testing. So once integration testing is done, then we'll go for system testing or functional testing or black box testing.
mm,
Once these type of testing is completed, they will go for acceptance testing. That is the last step of software testing. So after this step, they will release the actual software to end user.
mm.
Okay. So left side, it is a development activity. The right side, it is a testing activities.
Even
Okay.
another out here. In functional testing only we get all this unit testing, integration testing, right?
Yeah, yeah. Unit testing also you can do, but most probably it is done by developer.
No, two types of testing, functional and non-functional. In
Yeah,
functional,
yeah.
we have these unit and integration testing, right?
No, no, no. Non-functional is totally different. Okay, non-functional. There are
Yeah,
two
yeah,
roles: are functional tester and non-functional tester. Okay,
yeah.
so
The
but
question
here,
is, in
mhm.
functional testing, we have integration testing and unit testing. Functional and unit testing and integration is part of functional
Correct,
testing.
correct, correct, correct. Exactly. Functional testing, integration, unit testing, acceptance testing. Right.
Mm.
So functional testing also you can call as a system testing or black box testing.
Mhm.
Okay. So what I'm telling, parallelly, developer also gather the requirement, and tester also has to go through the requirement. Okay. Because so without, let's say your developer is reading the requirement, tester has to read the requirement because developer is understand his requirement. So tester also has to understand his requirement, right? What to test, how to test, what data he needs, everything. Okay. So again, he also has to write the like we will come, okay, step by step how exactly tester will start his working. Okay, so this is how any of the software any software company will follow this step by step. They will develop the write the code, develop the application, right? They will test all kind of testing, and they'll make sure all the functionality is working fine, right? If let's say if any one functionality is not working, let's say here as I told, cash and delivery is not working, only UPI and cash is working. So that what they will do, they will remove the functionality to the end user. Okay, so then they will deploy or release the software only to these mode of payment first 1 month or 2 month. After 2 months, they will look into this defect, like why it is not working, everything. They will fix the issues. Again, they will release, right? So how? Let's say why you will like always we will ask like YouTube update your application. or WhatsApp also it will ask you to update your application, right? So why update is because they are doing some changes, right? That is what version, right? Let's say your might be WhatsApp is after 15 days it will ask you to update your WhatsApp, right? So
mm,
because they have done some changes. Okay, so that is how the we'll come into that as well, like how exactly the software is going to release in the public, right? So what all criteria is there, right? So everything, okay. So what all the challenges they're facing, everything. So now we are just going through and trying to understand the fundament, okay. So we are not yet ready for software testing, okay. Just we are just going through it. So this is how. So as I told, left side is a software development STLC, like where only development activities will be carried out. So right side is a STLC where software testing lifecycle where testing activities are carried out. So it looks like V model. So that is why they will call it the V model, verification and validation. Okay. So I have given here. So they will analyze the requirement. So here also they why the arrow is showing both the side. Left side is a software tester. Right side, sorry, left side is a developer. Right side is a tester.
Understood.
So tester also has to requirement. You have to analyze the requirement. Developer also has to analyze the requirement. So developer will go for high level design, how to architect everything. So tester also will understand is go like we will come into that how will write the design everything from as a point of tester. So once coding is done, they will carry out all the testing. Okay, so this is very important. So this is a basic. Okay, if somebody asks you explain the V model, right? So what all activities carried out, and also given here what is the difference between verification and validation. Okay, so verification means we are building the software is correctly or not, right? So here verification software is not yet built, so they are just building it. But validation software is already built, so we are building the software is correctly or not. We are just testing the application, right? So verification is a static, validation is a dynamic. So these all we have already discussed. Just to remember, okay. So how exactly it will like difference between them, okay. So I have shown all the document like how exactly try to understand just to shown how the difference between them, right? So verification, am I building the product correctly or not with the as per document. So validation, we have building the right product or not. So there is a right product right. So there are two difference, right? So they have used am I building the product right or correctly, or am I building the right product means you are correctly you are writing the code and testing it correctly or not, right? So that is how integration here also you can do automation testing everything and regression testing. We'll come to it. Okay, what is regression testing, when you have to do it, what is beta testing, when at what time you have to do it, when you have to do acceptance testing, what is usability testing, right? So everything we will discuss it. Okay, so but now we have already understand what is integration, unit testing, system testing. So only we have not understand beta testing, regression testing, acceptance testing, right? And usability, we will come into that. Okay, so these all testing will be carried out. So once all this testing is done, so they will release a real software application for the end user. Okay, so now we have discussed about verification, validation, types of testing, levels of testing, right? So everything. So now let's understand more about what all applications are there in real time. Okay,
mm,
so types of application is freeware software application, shareware, open source, closed source. What is open source? We will understand. What is closed source? We will understand. Okay. So these are the type of applications. Okay. We're not talking about software application. Sorry, testing. We're just only discussing about in this session types of software applications. Okay, so types of software, first is freeware. Okay, so what is freeware? It is a software can be downloaded and used without any charge from the internet. Let's say you are in offline. So
mm,
let's say I don't have internet connection, but I have already installed this Excel sheet. or let's say I have a notepad. Okay, so this you can type anything without any internet connection. It doesn't need any internet connection. But can you able to use WhatsApp without internet, or can you use Facebook without internet?
No.
No, right? So that is how. Okay, so this is how freeware. Okay, you can perform this some task, or you write anything or code base. So this is, you can go for Adobe Reader, right? So all these are, but in order to download this software, you should have a internet. But basic functionality work without internet. Okay, that is what we call it as a freeware software. So what is shareware? Shareware is a fast and free limited time distribution of software application. So let's say when user are granted to access someone's source code. So what does it mean? So let's say I'm working in some TCS company or some Wipro or Accenture, right? So what is happened? So I'm using that application. I'm trying to use that application, Microsoft, right? So you need the access, right? If you are a Microsoft employee, then only you can access the application because they are sharing the credentials to you, right? You are able to grant the access. So that is what shareware software application. Okay.
Okay.
So what open source? Nowadays everything is open source. Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, right? So YouTube, everything is open source. But only thing is, it is available only on internet, right? So anyone can use the software code and modify and add a new feature, but you should have a internet to use
Internet.
that application,
Mm.
right? So that is about, it is not mandatory to remember, you just have some broad knowledge. So what type of applications we have. Okay, so I'm just going through fundamental only. It is, nobody will ask this question, but I'm just explaining how the point of IT, right? So how they will think it. So now we have a closed source software. So it is a source of closed source is closed. What does it mean? So let's say there is a Skype is there, or Google Earth or Java is a virtual box. Virtual box only Accenture or TCS if it is developed only for a particular company, or as I told Microsoft, right? So only those employee can use it because it is a closed source, because nobody can access outside people, either myself or you can not access, right, until they have given granted. Okay, so this is how the type of application, the four types. Okay, so not to remember, just only knowledge is required. Okay, so now
Mm.
we will understand what is console desktop. So what is console? Console is the operating system. Let's say I'm trying to write as a command prompt. Okay, so what it says, so this it is a Microsoft Window version 10 which I'm using. So how it is showing everything, right? So that is what it is, operating window where the user will interact with operating system, right? So I will type what is I'll type Java version. Okay, so it will show me because I'm interacting with operating system. See, it is a Java version 2.21.0.1, right? So this is how it will show. So whatever I use, this is a console. Okay, so not to worry, but as I told, you just have some knowledge. Okay, so what is a console? So how the user will interact with the operating system, right? So it is kind of some basic knowledge. Okay, so if you enter anything from keyboard in computer, so that is what it will read the output, right? So that is what it shows me. What is the Java version, right? So that is what that is the console desktop. Okay, so then what is the difference between console and PC, right? So now we understand console is nothing but it is a like a operating system. It will communicate with your operating system. I am using Windows, so it will communicate with Windows. It will ask the get the all detail from inside. I don't know where it is getting, right? So everything. So what is a PC? Personal computer, nothing but what we are having, right? So console PC means you have a laptop or system. Okay, so advantage of console is gaming console have advantage over PCs, so they are easy to use, do not require any upgrade or anything. So why did, let's say I'm not I'm using this one because I'm not doing anything. I'm just typing something. You can type the program as well here, right? But it doesn't require any upgradation. Okay, so everything it has shown me. What is details about Java, everything. Okay, so how this is how we can communicate with using console. So now we have next topic we have we now we have understand what is the type of applications we have, right? So now let's understand what is Windows application or desktop application. So what is standalone application, what is client application, what is server application, right? So they will ask you, give me example of standalone application or give me example of server application. Okay, we'll understand this. So anybody know like what is the desktop applications? Any idea? What is window? It is just name says, eh? So name itself says.
Desktop.
Can anyone give me example?
Microsoft Word, Excel.
Hmm.
Excel, Microsoft Word is comes.
Whatever application you have installed in your desktop is a desktop applications,
Yeah.
right? Excel, Microsoft Notepad,
Yeah.
right? Or any music player or something. Okay, so
Mm.
those are desktop applications. So now we will understand what is standalone application, what is web application, what is mobile application.
Mm.
So there are many things to understand here. So now let's go one by one. Okay, so now understand. So desktop application is a software program that can be run on your computer to perform the task. Let's say I have a calculator here.
Mm.
It is a, again it is a desktop application. It is installed on my machine, so it will do some specific tasks, right? So it is addition, what is whatever. So it is a standalone application to perform the specific task by end user. That is within myself or you are, if you're using, you are a end user. Okay, such as word editor, photo editing app, media player, right? But if you notice that this doesn't need any what is called internet, only
Okay.
one time download,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
So it is a one time installation. So let's see what is the characteristics. So how, what type of is there, right? So we have depends on Mac or Linux or Windows, right? So I'm using Windows. If you're using Apple, it will show as a Mac, right?
Mm.
So different types of application will be installed by end user or the internet, like internet. But
Mm.
installation is usually manual process, right?
Yeah.
So that is how. So this is a desktop applications. So now we'll understand about standalone application or client server application. So standalone application is a type of software that does not come with bundled with independent software feature. So let's say you buy a laptop. So
Mm.
by default, some of these applications are already installed in your application because those are desktop application. But standalone is not like that. It will not come with by default, right?
Mm.
So it does not require any separate software to operate. So let's say, example, Notepad is a calculator, Microsoft Word, Google Chrome, right? So, but here, let's say I'm using a Google where it is connected. It is connected to the Google server because Google is a client server. So everything it will give the detail. Let's say I'm using a, so meaning of testing. Okay, so let's say defect. Let's say if you type just defect, it will give the defect. What is the defect? Defect is a imperfection or lack. Right. So that is how. But you need the what you call, you need the internet, right? So there are client server application. There are uses two tier architecture where web application uses multiple tier like architecture. We'll understand what is architecture, how it is. One application is developed with how the architecture is. So in client server application, the user is interact with server, right? So I'm interacting with Google server. So where it is coming the result from the Google,
Mm.
right? So that is what. So how we are interacting? You are interacting with compatible web browser. It is a web browser. What is this web browser? It is a Chrome.
mm,
So what is web browser? What is mobile app browser? Right. So there are a lot of differences there. So no need to install web browser, right? So if you open it, you just give, or you can download anything from here also from this browser. You can download anything. You can download WhatsApp. You can download anything by using browser, right? So or get the information. Okay. So now let's understand how exactly client server application, right? So let's say you are using smartphone. Okay.
mm,
So what you will do, you will send a message in WhatsApp. Okay. So how you don't know like how it is sending message for me backend, right? So backend exactly you do not know how exactly it will work. It is working. Okay, 1 second. Okay. So let's say how like let's say you are sending a message. So it is directly it will let's say you are trying to log into Facebook, right? So where your like login credentials are saved in Facebook server,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
So what it does, you if you try to enter your username and password, it will verify whether it is username and password is correct or not. Then
Mm,
you will get the response as a successful, right? So that is how the client server application require the installation of client machine where the web application can directly like run from your computer browser. So as I told here, I install this browser in my system. Let's say I install in my laptop. Okay.
mm,
So if you search anything here in Google, it will directly hit that information to Google like Google client server. So then it will give you the response back with high details, right? So that is how interconnected. So my system will hit the client server because you have to install it. You have already installed the Google Chrome, right? That is how you are getting a Google details or any browser which will communicate with client or server. Server is nothing but somewhere some database. So they
mm,
have stored the details, and if any end user he will try to like if through http is a protocol. Okay, so if it is you are using internet or all the internet is connected with http protocol, so everything it will hit the server, so then you will get the response.
mm,
Let's say I will send you message. Okay, WhatsApp, if you are using WhatsApp, you will get the message. If you are
mm,
not using WhatsApp application, you will not receive the WhatsApp because that is how it is not connected to WhatsApp server,
mm,
right? That's how this architecture is there. But nobody will ask, but you just have some basic knowledge like how one software application is connected to different servers or different database,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
how exactly? Let's say maybe I'm the one person using high. So maybe lack of people are using searching the details of defect. I don't know, right?
Mm,
So that is how. See, you can see the result in 3.2 seconds, right? These many results are there. Like I don't know this number, but these many people are using it. So it will give all the detail from where it is a Google server, right?
mm,
So that is about software. That is how the one software is communicated with the different servers and different application, different database. Okay. So let's say I will use PowerPoint. Okay, I will show you how exactly one software is communicate with each other. So let's say this is a WhatsApp application. Okay, so
mm,
they WhatsApp. So so this is a presentation layer. Okay, so first layer they will call as a presentation, like how it looks like. So middle one is a database. Okay, so not middle one is database will comes under last. Okay, so middle one, it is a API will be there, application program interface. So let's say I will use one application, this application. Okay, let's say I will open in directly here Amazon. Okay, so if click on Amazon,
mm,
it will show like this. So it is showing in front of you is a presentation. So how it looks like, right? So what all categories are there? But you don't know like backend how the code is written, right?
mm,
So that is a three-tier application, right? So entire three-tier application, nothing but, so one is presentation layer, that is the first layer.
mm,
Second one is application tier. Third one is data tier. So that is what combining all three. So they have developed a one software application, right? So
mm.
we'll understand. So how exactly it will communicate each other. Okay. So now, if I enter here, mobile, it is showing. So from where it is showing
From the
these results. These are all mobiles are available. It is showing for me. So from where it is showing, from
from
the Amazon database. So that is a, I told you, right? One is presentation layer, another one is application layer, third one is database layer or database type. So how application layer means, see here. So they have written this code in HTTP HTML code. Okay, so I'm trying to, okay, see here. So
Mm.
let's say how they have designed this text or image, right? So let's say they have used the image class. They
Mm.
have inserted that image. They have loaded already. You can see here, this
Yeah.
image width, size, everything it is showing, right? So they have used the HTTP code. That is how they have written it. So if you load this application, so it will show by default. But in front end, you are not able to see any code, right?
Yeah.
You don't know how this code is written.
Mm.
But because this is a first layer, so first layer it will visible to end user. It is a first tier. Second tier is the application layer where you will show the exact code, how they have written, what they have written, what images they have loaded, everything. So third one is database. Database you cannot see it, but you will get the result from the. Let's say I'm using mobile under 10,000, so it will show only mobile under 10,000, right? So it is getting the data from Amazon database,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So they have loaded some mobiles in their database server. They will whatever it is available, it will show available. If it is not available, it will show out of stock, right?
Mm.
Or upcoming something. So that is how the software application is. Different layers will be there. Okay, so that is how you should be knowing, right? So how, what is presentation layer, what is application, what is the database, how the software application will communicate, right? So this is how. Okay, with the three tiers, each part can be developed concurrently, means separately, and later they will connect each other over the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is about we have discussed about type of applications. What is Windows application or client server applications? Okay.
Mm.
So what is how it looks like, everything, and also we have discussed about application architecture, two layer and three layers. Nowadays everyone using three layers because you
Mm.
should have some database.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let's say you were trying to search some video in YouTube. If that video is exist in YouTube database, then only you can get that video. Right? Let's say if today you have downloaded that video, tomorrow somebody has deleted in YouTube database, you cannot get that video directly, right? Because it is not exist in database.
Mm.
So database nothing but it is a structured set of data stored in separately, and it is hosted in internet nothing but server. Okay, so that is how any software application will be. The architecture will be same thing only. So that is how the logic they will use, and they will build the software application. So now we have understand what is the desktop application or Windows applications. So now we will understand what is web portals. Okay, our web portal. What is web portals? What is web applications? What is mobile applications? There is a very huge differences there. Only thing you have to remember the definitions. Very important, right? So because somebody is ask you what is desktop application or Windows applications, or
Mm.
somebody asks you what is client server application, or somebody asks you what is web portal. What is the difference between web portal and web application? Right? So now
Mm.
let's understand web portal. Web portal nothing but it is a specifically designed website
Yeah.
that will bring the information from the diverse sources like email, online form, search engines, right? So all these together, together in uniform way, right? So let's say uh, government portals are there, some education portals are there, banking portals, because these are they will do some banking is only for related to banking, right? So if you go for hospital or vendor is nothing only for vendoring, not like banking. So if you're going to patient or hospital domain, hospital portal, you'll see only related to related to the hospital. Let's say I will open Apollo Hospital. This is a web portal.
Mm.
See, you can see Apollo Hospital detail, apollohospital.com. It is a portal.
Mm.
Okay. So here you cannot, let's say you cannot check your emails, or let's say you cannot check your bank detail. Why? It is not
Mm.
meant for banking.
Yes.
It is specifically
Yes.
only for hospital related.
Yeah.
So that is what meant for web portal is nothing but it is a specifically designed website that will bring the information. I told you, right? Specifically designed. It is developed only for specific purpose. Each information source get a dedicated area, right? I told you all the information whatever you search. Let's say you are trying to book an appointment, hospital appointment. So all this information is only stored in Apollo Hospital, not in Google, not in Facebook, right? So only related to that vendor, or right? So each information get dedicated area, right? So this is how if you go for ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, so only those client can see it, not like external client, right? Only those users. So these are portals, right?
Mm.
So they are designed specifically for specific purpose.
What is intranet, Ivana?
I'll tell you. Extranet and intranet. Okay, intranet nothing but internal employee. Let's say I'm working for XYZ company. Okay, I'm working in Apollo Hospital. So for those employee, they will be having specific logins.
Mm-hmm.
So because they are internet like intranet like means internal employees.
Okay.
Okay.
Extranet means extranet means public. So they
Public.
those will
Okay.
not be having access. Let's say if you're trying to enter in Infosys company, they will not allow you because you are extranet. Do not have like access.
They
So
Mm.
have
that is how.
login details for intranet.
Uh,
User.
let's say okay. Let's say for example, I will book an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it will show the appointment detail is confirmed at this point this time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So but uh, Apollo Hospital employee or doctor will log in his detail, and he will get the detail of patient.
Yes. Yes.
right? So those, because those are internet, but I am a extranet.
Okay.
So that is how you're just filling the detail. But internally, we don't know what is happening, right? So they can reject your appointment, everything, right? So that is how the difference between those portals.
Okay.
Okay, so how, like web portals, you can see this. There are many web portals as we have discussed above, like might be education portal, banking portal, government portal, hospital portal, right? So they have designed for specific community. Some partner might be like, let's say, Apollo Hospital is partner with some ICICI bank, or to get the health insurance or something, right? So might be because there might be some logic will be there, or business purpose. So based on their purpose, they will develop it applications. Okay, so that is what web portals. So these portals are not, no need to, these are available in Google only, internet. So no need to install the application. Okay,
Mm.
you just launch the website. Website is nothing but web portal. So you will web portal nothing but apollohospital.com, something you will use .com. It is a website, right? Start with .com is a website or web portal. Web portal nothing but it is a website. So now we have understand what is web portals, right? So now let's understand about difference between desktop application and web applications. So we have already understand what is web application, sorry, desktop applications, and what is web applications. Okay, so
Yes.
we have not discussed about web applications. Okay, so
Mm.
desktop application is a name is suggested for general program that is used to run on personal computer. So whatever application is running on your system is a desktop application. For
Mm.
example, MS Word, Adobe, right, calculator, everything are, and also these are not depend on any internet connectivity. So that is very important. You have to use this word,
Okay.
right? So now let's understand what is web application. Let's say I will open my mobile. So
We need the internet. Mm.
so let's say I will use this mobile, iPhone or iPad, iPod, everything. Okay, this will show if I use for Apple, so it will show like this. Okay, so I'll tell you how what is this and all. Okay, later also. See here, it is looks like in mobile view. Okay, but you have not. But web application is a, it is a application program that is stored on remote server. I told you, right? This Amazon application where it is there, it is stored on Amazon server.
Mm.
But in order to use this Amazon application, you should have a internet connectivity, right? Access over internet via browser. So how you open this Amazon application?
You go to website.
That is fine. By using what you have opened this, like let's say,
Uh,
by using, how it is opened, by using what
Browser.
browser, Chrome.
exactly,
Chrome browser.
exactly. So via browser, right? Web
Mm.
application nothing but it is a application hosted on remote server and access over the internet via browser.
Mm.
Web browser. You can say browser instead of web browser. Also, you can say like web browser. Also, you can say.
Yeah.
Okay. So you understand, right? What is web application? Any application that is accessed via browser is a web
Browser.
application.
Yeah.
Okay. So internet is a basic for this type of application to work. I told you, right? If you, without internet, you cannot. Let's say if I disconnect meeting, also it will disconnect, and Amazon also it will disconnect, right? So
Yeah.
that is how. So because it is a web application, he hosted in server, which needs the internet connection. For example, you can give any example. Okay, you can give any application which will run Windows by using Chrome browser. You can open any Flipkart, Amazon, any application. So that application is used using any browser, Firefox, Internet, Chrome browser, any, right. So modern browser. Web application can be used any platform, right? So you can use in Apple device, Mac, Windows, with the help of browser. So let's
Yes.
say I'm not using a laptop, I'm using mobile phone. With mobile phone also you can launch the Amazon browser, right? Amazon website.
Yeah.
So that is why it needs the browser to access the application. Okay. So web-based apps are internet-based app. These all are like
Internet.
Facebook. Also, you can use web browser. You can log in through website,
Yes.
or you can install the application. Nowadays, it is a both, right? So you
Mm.
can use the WhatsApp application, install the WhatsApp application in your mobile or in your desktop. See here, I logged in with the website.
Mm.
This application is enabled for both, but you should have an internet connection.
Okay.
So here you no need to install or download. That is what if you say install, that is not a web application. If you install anything in your mobile, it is a mobile application. If you install any
Mm.
application in your desktop, it is a desktop application. If you do not install, but you use the browser to open that application, is a web
Web
application.
application. Mm.
Okay, so just go through disadvantage, advantage. So security is not guaranteed, right? Let's say websites are not secured. Anyone can have access. Anyone can hack my IP address and gain the access. Okay, so the
Mm.
security wise, anyone can unauthorized can access your application, right? So web app is may not support multiple browser.
Equal.
That is also one limitations is a web application is built explicitly for operating system. So let's say Chrome browser you cannot install in iOS,
Yeah.
Mm.
Apple, because you need a Safari browser
Yes.
because it is not specifically designed. So that is what you have to get it from App Store, Apple Store.
Mm.
Okay. So these are disadvantages of web applications. Okay. So I have given difference between desktop application, web applications. Okay, each and
Okay.
everything. Just go through it. What exactly it is there, and everything I have explained in detail. Like what we have discussed above, only I have mentioned here. Okay, with example.
Okay.
So where your data is stored in web application, data is stored in client or server, but in desktop application, data is stored in your system.
Mm.
Let's say I'm writing something. Let's say I'm writing these detail will share in my system only, not in your machine, not in your system, right? So all these details which is stored in my machine only, not in your machine. But let's say I will open this Amazon, I will log into my account in my system. Same thing, you can also log in with my account in your system. It is accessible for everywhere, right? Amazon, I can log in my laptop. Amazon.in, I can log in my phone because this is a web application because the data is stored in remotely or server over the internet.
Mm.
Okay, those detail I have a difference between them. I have given there. So what type of testing you can perform, that is also I have given. Let's say Amazon is a web application is developed. What all testing is has been performed, right? You have performed functional testing, non-functional testing, right? Everything I have given here, which we
Mm.
have discussed in previous session. So just go through it. So
Yeah.
we will understand next topic. What is web application? What is web portal? Difference between them. Okay. So I will
Okay.
stop here.